They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore.
Are you ready?
I want you to get mad.
I'm the best in the world.
First, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. Yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
That said, we've had enough. Please turn that fucking radio off. Ain't nothing on the airwave in the despair we feel.
This is Polly Punkneck, and you're listening to Not For Air Podcast.
You know, I think I can actually say this now. Finally! Welcome back to Not For Air Podcast. Yes. It has been, quite some time, hasn't it? But, yeah, last man standing, I guess, is kind of what this is down to. Not really. Things are good. Not For Air Underground Radio, Not For Air Radio, whatever you want to call it, is actually doing quite well. So I'm happy about that. Underground Horror Radio, which is another show I do, which is music, and horror movies with my wife, Nicole, that's great. Even got a gaming thing going on now where I play video games, and you can watch me play like old school games. That's in the works. There's a caffeinated podcast where I have different guests and friends hang out at coffee shops and talk about general stuff. That's kind of cool. And this show is back. Last time I did it was with my friend Melissa a long time ago, which was the Adventures in Not For Air Podcasting, which had about a 3-episode run. Before that, of course, it was forever. But yeah, it's going on 5 years, and I brought this bad boy back. Is it going to be the same without Ferry or Matt? No. Or, Boots or anybody else that was on it? No, it won't. And I understand that, and that's okay. This is more like the rant show in a way anyway. But I'm happy. I mean, this is the original baby. This is the fucking flagship. This is what started everything. And, we're still going strong. And everybody else is doing their own thing, I'm sure, and that's cool. I'm happy. There's no ill will. Everything's good. So, with that said, the reason why we're doing this, and the intro is the old intro, which I kind of missed. I'm glad I brought this back mainly because of one station, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, that stole the fucking name. Just blatantly. And I was, pissed. Beyond pissed. So we'll talk about that. But actually, this is just for me to go on several things, different episodes about how fucking stupid people are in general. Because I'm on Facebook, and all I see is negativity and this and that, and people arguing, and we'll get to that. There's plenty of episodes for that. First thing, let's get this. This is the thing that's been bugging me the most, because this is something I've repeatedly said on the radio show many times. Many times. I brought this up. We've talked about it. We've done all this a million times, and it seems like people don't get it. And what I'm talking about is Buzz 103, which is the radio station that I grew up on down here in South Florida. That was our rock station. Besides the Gator, that was all classic rock. We're talking Steppenwolf and, Hall & Oates and that kind of shit. Then we had the Buzz, which was a couple other stations before that were new rock. At the time, we had Smashing Pumpkins, Bush, Green Day was new at the time, Save Ferris, Disturbed, all that kind of stuff that was coming out in the 90s and 2000s. It was great, and a lot of cool bake sales and that kind of thing. It was a great station. Now, before anybody goes on a rant on me about something, let's get this straight. I worked at a radio station, okay? I didn't just one day go, podcasting seems like something fun. I didn't even know what it was because I was, at a radio station. So I worked at a radio station up in Vero, and I was in promotions for a year, which came in handy now for doing a lot of stuff that I do. And so eventually I left, and I left town. I came back, and somebody I was hanging out with said, why don't you do a podcast? And henceforth, 5 years later, this is still here. and verged off to many other things, many other ideas. So with that said, I know what I'm talking about because I know the radio field, okay? I worked in radio stations. I know a lot about the stuff that goes on. It changed drastically. Everything's digital now. So the Buzz went under in about, was it 2011? Yeah, it was 2011 it went under. Palm Beach Broadcasting bought out, I believe, CBS. Now, down here in Florida, for all you locals, you know this, you have like Wild 95.5 and WRMF, or not WRMF, Wild 95.5, The Gator, and a couple other ones that are owned by Clear Channel. Clear Channel no longer exists, and this is important because I'm going to bring this up next. It became iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio. It's all, Clear Channel changed it to that. That's what it is now, which is all over the world. It's their internet thing. It's huge, and I've had my problems with them before. So, with that said, I'm trying not to lose track of this. So, iHeartRadio is Clear Channel. And then there's other ones like Palm Beach Broadcasting, which is part of a company I think called, let me get to it, down here below. Triton Digital Media. Okay. So that's who owns like a cluster of stations. Sometimes companies like that own a cluster of stations in different areas. And Vero, we had a small cluster that was owned by a small company that's a good company that wasn't corporate radio, called Treasure and Space Coast Media, or Treasure and Space Coast Radio. That's who I used to work for. So, this is important. Palm Beach Media bought the Buzz and bought that whole thing, which is like WRMF and I believe like Sunny 107.9, a couple other ones, in that building. That's important. So, they bought them out. The Buzz went under, and because I don't know if it's because they didn't have. I think they had plenty of listeners, but I think what happened was mainly they wanted to try something new and update the market. So this is what we got instead, right here.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
WPBZ FM and WPBZ HD1, Indiantown, the Palm Beaches.
4, 3, 2, 1. Palm Beaches, welcome to the all-new Now 103.1. Today's best hits without the rap. We're going to be playing things from Lady Gaga to Katy Perry to Nickelback to Coldplay. So we wanted to put Now 103.1 on the air to be a radio station for adult females in the Palm Beaches.
For those who want to listen to The Buzz, what is it you found out about the Buzz listeners and where can they listen now?
One of the things that we found out through our research is that the Buzz listener group was the most internet-savvy group of listeners, and they were already listening online. So this is going to be a great option for them. We hope that they're going to listen online, they're going to listen through HD radio, and they can even download an app to their smartphone through radio.com or through the iPhone store in order to listen on their smartphone online. We found, too, in the local market here, the listeners were looking for something new and exciting. They were looking for something with less talk in the morning, something with less commercials, and that's what we're going to deliver on.
There are a lot of radio stations that talk, it's all talk in the morning, and most of the radio stations that we intend to compete with are very, very, they play lots of commercials and lots of talk. You won't hear that on Now 103.1.
Yeah, why are you guys wearing camo hats?
We're wearing camo because we are actually waging war on talky, uncool radio.
With us waging war against uncool radio stations, against talky morning shows, against radio stations that don't give you music in the morning, this is no easy task, but it's something that through a lot of research, West Palm Beach and the Palm Beaches has told us that absolutely needs to exist with Now 103.1.
So that was the whole thing there. And the fact that they were like, oh, you can listen online, they pretty much abandoned it. The Buzz is online, just like how Podunk Radio is online, and just like how Metal Zone, Rock Out, whatever, all these, No Sale, all these different internet radio stations, okay? So the Buzz, which is still there, it's called thebuzz103.com. Okay. There's no DJs. It's just a computer running it. You can still listen to the music, and it's all there, but it's not the same. So why I'm bringing this up is because lately somebody brought this up. They brought up a petition. God damn it. And they're petitioning Clear Channel Communications, which is fine, except there's one fucking issue. A, Clear Channel really doesn't exist anymore. It's iHeartMedia. And B, the Buzz isn't owned by fucking Clear Channel. It's owned by Palm Beach Broadcasting and Triton Digital Media. So you're sending a petition to the wrong fucking place. That's the main fucking gripe I have. And I try to tell people this on Facebook, and they're like, oh, whatever. And I'm like, I'm glad you want to bring it back, but there's reasons why it won't come back. And I'll tell you that in a minute. And why it won't work now anyway. But the sheer fact that these people, who is this guy? And it's a simple mistake, and I can forgive that. Or is it Kevin McCartan started this petition? But the sheer fact that he couldn't use his fucking brain enough to... You know how I knew all this stuff? Let's pretend I wasn't in the radio... wasn't in the radio field and still isn't with the podcasting, which is... Podcasting's huge now. A lot more bigger than it was 5 years ago when we started. But anyway, all you got to do is fucking Google. It's not hard. Google the station you're looking for. You know what else I did? I scrolled all the way to the bottom, and it tells you all rights reserved this, Palm Beach Broadcasting copyright. That tells you who owns it. Then if you're like, oh, I know Clear Channel's like Wild, right? Or iHeartMedia. Then you go all the way down and it says copyright. So that way nobody, takes your shit or whatever. So it's there. And nobody did the research. So they made a petition to bring back a rock station, which, by the way, we have one now, down south called The Bar. It's owned by, I think, JVC something. And, once again, not Clear Channel. And we have that. It's down south. Yes, you can only get it, like, in Jupiter and West Palm south, all the way to Miami. That's how, I think Miami. That's how far south it goes. I'm a little bit north of that. Not that, anybody that doesn't live here doesn't understand that. But you can still listen to it online. You can listen to the Buzz the whole time online. I know what they want to do. They want to bring it back like it was. But you can't bring it back like it was. Because, okay, a couple reasons why they shut it down. I know a little bit of it because I talked to the people who used to work there. Number one, I know you couldn't bring it back to where it was without the key people. You need Ross Mahoney, who's in North Carolina. You have John Connor, who's no relation to the Terminator, who's in Tampa, I think, doing sports radio now. And he was the program director and all that. He was great. Him and Ross were great. And, Trey's up in, my buddy Trey, who used to work in the Buzz, is up north doing satellite radio. He's doing something for them, so that's great. The point is, without these key things in a decent morning show, it's not going to work. The thing is, the market has changed because it changed so much that they thought, let's put, women want to hear this. And that, by the way, that Now station that was there got replaced with the numbers for country because we already had a station like that called Wild. I already took care of that in another episode of the actual radio show. So that's my point with that is there's no market for it. No, there's a lot of us that want to listen to it. And that is great. I think that's phenomenal. It's online. I know you want to have a DJ back. I know you want all this stuff, and I get that. And I totally would love that. But here's the thing. It's terrestrial radio, which I don't know if a lot of people know this is why it's free. It's called advertising. Okay? And in order for it to run and have the money and the numbers, it has to have advertising. If people aren't advertising on the Buzz like they were, which they stopped doing, which is why they switched it, because a lot of people that were like running the bars or whatever got older, the audience kind of changed, whatever it was, that you need that in order for it to be successful and keep going, because it costs money. So, unless all of you who are bitching about this are going to advertise, and let me tell you, radio advertising is not cheap. It's never going to happen again like it was on FM. They just won't do it because they're not making any money on it. They own the rights and they let it sit online because they're not losing any money. They don't have to pay anybody. They don't have to pay any DJs. They don't have to pay for really anything except for the server, which I think they got running anyway. That's what I think. And they're doing it as a courtesy to us, I guess. But that's it. It's as simple as that. You need advertisers to support your thing so you have money to do things. That's how FM works. There's so many rules and regulations. Now, if you wanted to keep the Buzz online and go and support that and still have DJs, and maybe they'll have to pay a little bit of money to have somebody in there doing something, which I would be happy to do, we could totally do that. That would be sweet. That would be great if because online is basically what it's going to be. It took 5 years now, and podcasting's blown up where everybody's fucking doing it now, and everything's online anyway. I'm going to say, let's see, by our 10th anniversary. I'm going to say by our 10th anniversary, not saying on the anniversary in 2000, let's see, I started in 2010, so 2020. Another 5 years, I will be 38. So, something like that, yeah. So anyway, give it another 5 years. It's already 2015. Give it 5 more years, and I bet you, by the 5 years to the date, maybe, if not probably before that, I'll give it another 2 years. But really, I'll give it a 5-year stretch that the internet radio is pretty much it. FM's still there, but everything else is going to be online. And I know that because you got stations like Podunk, you got stations like Metal Zone, you got all these other internet radio stations that I could just start Googling. Not for Air, the show, which was a station for like a year or two before I just went on Podunk and Rock Out for a while. That's all there. This show, which cost me nothing to run, really. So, with that said, it's not going to happen. All right, and trust me when I say I'm like the biggest guy that wants this to happen, because since I was 17, all I wanted to do was work for the buzz. But I knew back then when I worked at Jack FM that radio was changing, and that was in 08 and 09. In 010, or not 010, but 2010 is when I launched Not For Air with my friends, and here we are now. And it's all going online, and satellite's still there. Satellite's great, but, it's internet. Everything's online. Video shows, TV's already there. So radio is staying online. And if anything, it's going to get better. So now we'll have more uncensored stuff. But as far as Buzz 103, which I love, and a lot of you out there do love, it's not going to happen. And it certainly is not going to happen if you send a petition to fucking Clear Channel or iHeartMedia. Because it doesn't work, because the buzz isn't owned by them. That's the biggest thing with it. You can't send a petition to the wrong fucking place. They're going to look at it and go, what the fuck is this? And then throw it away. So, I'm not going to start one up, because I already know, like I just told you, why it's not going to happen. They're not going to make any money on it. We already have a rock station down south now that's a competitor. The Gator really wasn't a competitor because it played classic rock, and we played new rock at the time. The buzz did. And then now, we have the Bar, which is basically like the Buzz and the Gator kind of rolled up into one, where that's the new rock kind of station where they play a lot of rock and concerts and stuff. They're new and they're getting on their feet, but it's slowly working. But I love the Buzz too, everybody. Just so we're clear, this isn't a hate on that. I just realistically know what happened and what's going on with it. It's as simple as that. It's unfortunate. But, it is what it is, and that's, that sucks. So, I mean, what can you do? But that for all intents purposes, everybody, is the truth. So, it sucks ass that happened like that, but it's true. So making a petition to the wrong station doesn't help, and the buzz is online, and maybe we'll be able to fix that and make that something really awesome by getting DJs back in there. I don't know. If not, we got Podunk Radio, which is what I'm on, which Not For Air and Underground Horror Radio is on. Playing all local bands that we can from all over and helping them out uncensored. It's great. That's where we're going with it anyway. But anyway, that's my take on that, everybody. So, sorry I, wanted to work out, but I really don't think it's going to happen.
Come with me if you want to live.